Part 2. Azure Moon. Garland Moon. The Golden Deer's Plea. The Kingdom Army has reclaimed the Kingdom capital and plans to immediately begin restoring the country and its forces. But an unexpected request arrives from Claude, leader of the Leicester Alliance. Dimitri promptly responds to the request for aid, and he rushes to prepare the kingdom's forces.
All right, so I think I mentioned this before. Maybe I haven't, but well, I know I've mentioned that I've done a partial playthrough of the Blue Lions campaign before I started streaming this. This is exactly as far as I got. So pretty much anything here from here on out, story-wise, is going to be completely new to me. And, oh, there's a side quest battle. We should have checked ahead for that.
We have received a request for aid from the Alliance. They are being invaded by the Empire. We have only just taken back Ferdiad, and yet I am already asking all of you to move out once more. Please accept my apologies for that.
That's no problem at all. More importantly, how is the Alliance faring?
House Regan has rallied the Alliance Lords. They are facing the enemy with all the strength they can muster. But we do not know how far that will get them. It seems the enemy's relentless attacks have forced them into a tough situation. Their defeated Gronder severely weakened the Alliance.
Oops.
I imagine the Empire now intends to destroy them before they can recover.
To think they'd watch us chase their soldiers out of the Kingdom capital, then immediately go invade the Alliance. Their general is Lord Volkard von Arundel. He serves as regent to the Emperor. He has presumably taken command after the Emperor was wounded in Gronder.
He is known for his shrewdness and excels not only in domestic affairs, but tactics as well. He is not an opponent we should take lightly. Lord Arundel.
I remember that name. You concerned, Dimitri?
I always suspected that Lord Arundel was behind the tragedy 9 years ago. The timing of his departure from the kingdom, the fact that he abruptly stopped making donations. Too many factors made him suspect. If Lord Arundel conspired with Cornelia, then what Kronya and the others said 5 years ago? Well, never mind that for now. The Alliance needs our help. What are your thoughts?
If we turn our back on the Alliance and then Derdrew falls, it will undoubtedly make our situation difficult further down the road. We would have enemies in two directions, in the Alliance to the northeast, and in the Empire to the south.
That is true. In that scenario, we would not be able to safely march our soldiers to Enbar.
I am terribly worried about Lady Rhea, but I believe we must save the Alliance first. Oh, maybe if we do this, the Alliance will help us out in return. We could ask them to help us attack the Empire. You know, a sneak attack or something. Annie!
Sneak
When
attack.
did you become so devious?
Okay.
What would your mother think?
What? It wasn't that devious.
What do you think, Professor?
Well, really only one option here.
Yes, I agree. I will admit that there is something to be gained for us as well, for when we eventually march south. But far more importantly, they need us. We cannot turn our backs on them. We will arrange to head out at once. Prepare yourselves, everyone.
Now, I gotta say, it's nice having the old Dimitri back. Alright, Sylvain's birthday. What the hell, why not? I've been skipping him before, let's change that up. What would he like? I don't know. We'll
Hey, sorry for the wait, Professor.
go with this.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful aroma. Yeah.
You always wear your suit of armor to tea. Working together. Of course he's into that.
Yeah.
Heart racing memories? Yeah. Makes sense. Ideal professor. Oh, doesn't care about that, huh?
Thank you for the treat, Professor. I'd like to do this again sometime.
Maybe next year. Alright, before I explore... Ooh. Alright. Dimitri battle. But we'll explore first. Ash, what are you doing? Alright.
The very same night we liberated the capital, a messenger arrived from Deirdre. Claude must have predicted that we'd retake it.
Definitely.
Claude's a hard person to read. It's obvious not much escapes his eye, though. Kind of unsettling, honestly.
That is true. Alright. I've been playing other games and I have to get used to these controls again. Go figure. Oh.
Claude, eh? He always was sharp among his peers. Never let himself get caught up in conventions. He wasn't typical in Fodlan. I'd like to save him if we can.
Yeah, he's too determined to die.
You may be right.
I haven't done any Golden Deer playthroughs, like, at all, so I don't have any first-hand experience with Claude, but it's fine.
I went to visit my adoptive father at his home in the capital. He used to grovel at Cornelia's feet when the city was under her control. But after it was liberated, he started courting the kingdom instead.
Whatever it takes to get ahead, I suppose.
I suppose he was just doing what he needed to survive. No matter what becomes of the world, it'll always be plagued by people like him.
Man. So harsh when she's the one saying it like that.
Deirdre, huh? I've always wanted to go there. In Fargus, most of the towns are pretty much glorified fortresses. So, to hear about a place called the Aquatic Capital, it just sounds so elegant. When the war's over, I hope I can visit with everyone there.
It'll probably be a nice change of pace from, say, the Valley of Torment. Alright. Gotta check on my crops. Okay. Get a nice variety this time.
Maybe.
See what Felix is up to, I suppose.
My uncle gave me some of my father's belongings, weapons, books, but there was something else that my old man really wanted to pass down. He wanted me to inherit his mission, ensuring that Dimitri ascends the throne. Or so I believe.
Well, I guess you're gonna do it. I was gonna ask, but kind of don't have a choice in the matter, Dimitri, or Felix. Sorry, but also not sorry.
What do you think?
Alright, who's up here? Manuela.
What do you think?
How's it going?
Remember the Death Knight who stabbed me 5 years ago? Of course you do. How could you forget? Well, it turns out he's a general in the Imperial Army, claiming victories on dozens of battlefields.
Well, that's rude.
But it looks like he's not at Deirdre. Like every man in my life, he's run away from me. And he better run. One day I'm gonna find that guy and pay him back for what he did to me.
Have I said enough times how great Manuela is? Because she is great. Fantastic. Love her.
Speaking of the capital recaptured, I desire to call him Your Majesty rather than Your Highness. He would refuse my desire, rightfully pointing out that he has not as yet been crowned. However, the day this war is ended and the Church has placed the crown upon his head, then he will truly be our king, and I will call him Your Majesty at last. I must go hear the reports from our spies. There is something worrying me, and no, it can wait. I shall tell you more when our information is more concrete.
Gilbert. Not a good sign. It's never a good sign.
I thought there was a chance that Cornelia had captured Lady Rhea, but it seems that is not the case. Our next foe, Lord Arundel, was once a pious adherent to the Seros Creed. His contributions to the church stopped quite abruptly some time ago. I think it is likely the man knows something.
That's one way of putting it.
You plan to aid Claude, do you not? Huh, I think that is absolutely marvelous. Being opposing forces at the Battle of Gronder was ill-fated. It hurt to side against him. I am happy that things have taken a brighter turn now.
Yeah, that part about how we kind of handed them a major defeat that weakened them for the Empire to kind of swoose on in on their territory. Oops.
Cornelia Arnhem. That's a familiar name, yes. She once studied in the Empire. My understanding is, shortly after I left the Empire, she did as well. Unlike myself, Cornelia traveled to the kingdom. Apparently, she halted a plague and was rewarded with a quite powerful appointment. That such an outstanding researcher should fall to such depravity. Sickening, Professor, and quite sad.
Brought a sudden stop to a plague, huh? He totally didn't start it. No, definitely not.
Even if we do enter Alliance territory, we're not gonna find Lady Rhea there. I wish we could leave Claude be and go attack the Empire. I suppose if we can't beat the Empire forces here, then we can't get into the Empire lands, can we? I guess that just means it's hard work time, huh, Professor?
That's sort of the spirit. Cyril? We'll take that. No, not the cathedral, but I want to do the counselor thing. Just for the fun of it. Who needs help? That looks like Catherine. Heroes Relics? No, didn't like the sound of that. Sorry, Catherine.
Hey, you.
Alright, who's hanging out on the bridge? Oh. Speak of the devil.
We're still searching for Lady Rhea. No news on that, I'm afraid. Lord Arundel, the Emperor's uncle, is the regent of the Empire. If we crush them at Deirdre, maybe we'll capture him and wring some clues out of him.
It's nice to have hopes.
I was getting excited for our big Empire showdown. I spent so much time mentally preparing. Then we shifted focus to Deirdre. I hadn't been expecting that. But, as a knight who's sworn to serve the goddess, I cannot turn a blind ear to those who seek my aid.
Was that supposed to be a joke there, Eloise? Blind ear?
Oh.
He didn't laugh, so I don't think it was actually a joke.
Deirdre, the aquatic capital. I've heard it's a magnificent city, you know? If we're going, I wish it wasn't to wage war. It'd be more fun to visit with a cute girl on my arm.
Maybe once the war is over, Sylvain.
Yeah? Maybe you and me? That'd be a good reason to survive the war.
Awfully bold and presumptuous of you, Sylvain.
Hey,
There's got to be someone in here, right?
Let's see.
Someone's in here.
Lord Rodrigue Fraldarius has passed on. Margrave Gautier has assumed his position and is now gathering the lords of the Eastern Territories. House Gautier is equal in prestige to House Fraldarius. Sylvain is a Gautier. These lords are reorganizing the Fargus army and eradicating any remaining factions that claim allegiance to the Empire. Of course, His Highness is being kept apprised with regular reports, but it falls to me to monitor him and ensure he does not try to take on too much. I would ask you to do the same. If you take your eyes off that man, even for a moment, he is liable to do something rash.
Well, thanks, Dedu. Appreciate
Over
it.
20 years ago, there was an illness raging across Ferdiad, while people were dying left and right. It was Cornelia who saved the kingdom from that dreadful illness.
She was a doctor?
No, I hear she was originally an imperial scholar.
We already
She was
heard
in
this
the
from
kingdom
Hanneman,
by my
though.
father's invitation. People praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she completely changed. Her behavior, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, everything. Despite all that, Father still appointed her to a high post. After all, she had saved the kingdom from ruin by that disease. But above all, my stepmother trusted her. That's why what that woman said is... Never mind.
Alright, I think got enough pieces to solve that puzzle. Which is that the Cornelia we fought was not the Cornelia who actually solved the plague all those years ago. Guessing just like with Monica, there was some kind of well, Monica and Tomas, there's some kind of change. I don't really have a great many brawlers. I guess I got Felix. Yeah, Felix might have a shot. Maybe. We'll see. We'll give it a go.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, this isn't going right. Oh, well.
Alright, next.
You get a crit, I suppose that helps. Yeah, that goes a long way. Well, it's semifinals. I should heal anyway. This should go well enough.
It was meant to be.
Alright. All Felix has to do is take one punch. That's it. He didn't even need it. Thank you, Felix. He's not even the resident brawler. Alright, was there anything else I need to check in on? Ingrid. What do you have to say, Ingrid?
So House Regan has regained its influence in the Alliance and is gathering forces.
Claude always was somewhat inscrutable. It's strange somehow to hear talk of his brilliance as the leader of the Alliance.
I don't get it. What makes it strange? Inscrutable, I agree with. That's the one thing I know about Claude. Completely inscrutable when you're not on his campaign. I don't know if he's still inscrutable when you are in his campaign, but definitely when you're not. You don't know what he's really up to. I guess that's it. For the exploration part, at least.